There is always a race between us and an intelligent hacker. So we have to be always as not just a step, but a mile away from such events because we are holding some important data. My name is Mani Gopalaratnam. People call me Mani, and I'm the CTO of Resulticks. What I want to achieve through marketing technology is to make sure that our customers are brought into the centerpiece, which is the whole view of how marketing is going to look like in the future, and making them get the best context, offers, and the content. Resulticks is capable of reaching out to its customers through almost all the touch points in digital world today, be it a website through notification, be it a mobile app through notification, an SMS which is passé, but we also are into doing things like Line as a platform which can reach out to people, WhatsApp as a platform, even gone into the level of connecting voice messages and information relating to how you want IoT devices to be connected and communicated to. An example would be how an Alexa at home could communicate with you more effectively in terms of knowing what your house has and providing you offers relating to that. We are trying to take out all the manual jobs that a marketer does today on a day-to-day basis, be it from knowing what kind of segmentation they need to have, to how do you define a customer journey, how do you make sure that all the data is collated from responses and plowed back into making the communication more appropriate to a customer, and an action taken either positively or negatively is appropriately handled. That's automation in Resulticks context. Data should be available as a holistic entity, not as silos. That's the first part. If you solve that problem, then you can have different models acting upon it. The key is to bring the data back into a location or a context. If you have that, then you have the sky is the limit for us to analyze how the data can be seen, how the data can be utilized, how the data can create views which you normally won't get by manual looking at the data. So analytics will be the key pillar on the data, which is your foundation to construct a world of marketing. Southeast Asia is in a good position, I would say, where the customers have invested in processes relating to data, and also we have a very good customer savvy market. There is multiple channels today are being promoted. So unlike US, where direct marketing is still in existence, Southeast Asia has passed that. Maybe it's a blessing. So omnichannel doesn't mean that you can spray more. Omnichannel helps you in creating a proper contextual reach and deliver an engagement which converts. And attribution is the key. The challenges ahead are not new. It's people, process, and technology in that order. The first thing about adopting to such things is organization's mentality of how people view how omnichannel can help them. This is very much required. If they're going to use the old thought to use a new tech or a new methodology, it's not going to work. Once that hurdle is crossed, you need to make sure that the processes supporting this are enabled appropriately. So you have to cut short many of the old processes of how you will segment, how you will create a trigger communication, what channels you can use for what type of groups of people is important. Technology, for me, is the least of the challenge. Today, thanks to the availability of secure cloud and also ability for an organization to use their own hosting capabilities, this is not going to be a problem. In terms of brick and mortar to e-commerce journey, it's not going to be 100%. So people are not going to go to e-commerce world for everything. Even me, when I look at buying my provisions and vegetables, I like to go to a wet market and do a touch and feel. And that will remain. E-commerce enable us to get more options, faster delivery, and easier ordering process. So, whenever there is a requirement for such kind of things, like for example banking, I don't go enjoy standing in a queue before a teller. I would love to use a e-commerce or an e-banking solution. Same thing with insurance. I would like to just go there to website and file a claim. I don't want to be filling up forms or meeting somebody. But there are still areas where interaction from a human being helps us. A brick and mortar should preserve its best points, that is customer intimacy at a point of presence. This is still an important part. For massive big purchases, I still believe even next decade, e-commerce will not overtake this. At the same time, a brick and mortar should also look at enabling themselves on e-commerce so that they're able to do the dual strategy. If you look at Amazon, for example, they come back with 2 stores, one in Seattle, one in New York. Why the hell they do it? What keeps me up at night are 3 things. One is the security. Security is paramount today, though we keep making sure that we are ironclad in terms of how we secure the data, how we secure our infrastructure. There is always a race between us and an intelligent hacker. So we have to be always as not just a step, but a mile away from such events because we are holding some important data. Second part of it is for our ability to make the platform cost effective all the time. So the cost of infrastructure is dwindling down year on year. So we have to be cognizant about how do we make our services in line with that. So we are giving better value to our customer. It need not be just a price reduction, but it could be a huge performance improvement. It could be new features that could be delivered at a fraction of cost. The third and most important thing that I always look at it is how do we look at the whole ecosystem as complementary and not predatory. Resulticks always looks at our competition with respect. Everyone has their point of view, everyone has their strength points. So we always look for how do we integrate and bring the ecosystem up rather than trying to say, I will kill somebody else.